yeah, 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 yeah. Can we hear anybody out there? Anybody out there? Just had a big time crash on the computer tonight. I don't know if anybody's out there listening, if they can hear me. Waiting for people to join in. Hopefully we can get this started. We're going to wait a few minutes till people join in. I'm just going to talk a little bit to make sure we have sound. Who's got sound? Who's got sound? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Waiting for some of our guys to join in here. Do we have anybody here? Let's see what we got going on here. Guys, we're just going to be waiting for people to join in. We had a major crash. Can hear you loud and clear. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Oh, man. It's good to have some life out there. You know, we're waiting for everybody to come on now because, you know, we had a lot of people checking out that live earlier. Woo! Woo! I don't know if the thunderstorm hit my mic or what happened, but we had no sound, guys, and it apparently was a major crash. Major crash. And now I got this crappy start to this live that I really had planned tonight. Whew. Here we go, right? Here we go. Come on. Let's get it fired up. Now you can hear me. Now you're going to get the full effect of me. Hey, I'm Mark with the Oval RC, and we're back for another week of setups, but this time you can actually hear me. I'm sorry for the problems we have, but let's hear it anyway. Yeah, let's get that positivity flowing. And I got the buttons going. You know how I love that? Maybe the buttons blew it out. I really don't know, you know, but we're back. Got our mics on, and it looks like you guys can hear me now. You know, I had so much going on tonight. I had a big plan planned for this show. And, wow, when you guys said, Mark, we can't hear you. And I was like, oh, no. Because I was trying something new. And I'm sure that's what happened because I'm in my computer settings. I'm in my audio settings, right? And I'm trying out different things because I got this big plan for you guys tonight. I spent all this time getting ready some cool clips, you know, for the free show tonight that I want everybody to be able to see. So if you're seeing this for the first time, man, we went, I don't know how many weeks straight, no issues. And tonight, I don't know. I think lightning struck the volume and wiped us out tonight. But say hi tonight, please. Let me know you're out there. Let me know you can hear me because you don't know the anxiety level that I just went through. It was like through the roof. I mean, it sent me to the bathroom and everything. That's how bad it was. So we're going to move some things so you guys can see me. And for those, you know, just joining in the night, normally we, you know, we have a little chat right now anyway because we're getting ready to talk about our subject for tonight. And everything's a mess now. Oh. All right, well, let me pull myself together, right? We got it. We got it. We're in. Are you guys out there? I see we got some views out there. I see we got some people watching. Can you guys hear everything I'm saying right now before we get going? Because we're going to get this thing rolling here. We're running a little. I see the big mat on the table. Yes, sir. Okay. Can you hear me? Just give me a yes. Looks like you can. Again, sorry, we can hear you. Okay, woo, woo, woohoo. Man, I'll tell you what, guys. When you got a switcher you have a program running in the background, it's going into YouTube, and you try to get this audio going, right? And you're seeing audio, you're hearing audio, and nobody's hearing you, but yet, you know what I had to do? I had to run 3 tests of live just to make sure I could hear sound, or else it was going to be a bail tonight. And I almost bailed anyway because it was like, man, I had this awesome plan, right? Nobody can hear me. All right, well, we're back. Here we go. Let's talk about it tonight. Who's hot and who's not on the RC Dirt Series, RC Dirt Star Series Tour series coming up. We got a race coming up. Let's bring that up for you guys, and this is where a lot of these problems happened, right? Let's bring it up for you right here. Here we go. RC Dirt Stars Racing Series. It'll be at RJ Speedrome, Saturday, March 28th, 2026. The address is right there, guys. That's right. I don't leave out the address. 2522 Blake C. Boulevard, Lehighton, PA. Make sure you come. Start time is 1 p.m. I think the doors open up at like 9 o'clock for the RC Dirt Stars Series. Now, you know, like I said, I have a lot of things planned here, so give me a second here to move things around because I had it all set up, and then it went down the hill. So we're going to get this right here. Okay, we got that ready to go. We're going to take that out of there, and just bear with me while I set some things up here and get my thoughts together before we get rolling. All right, so, you know, we did some interviews for the, anyway, tonight we're going to do the RC Dirt Star Series pre-race deal. I'm going to show you some videos that when I interviewed some of the drivers, and we did some interviews at the racetrack, some behind-the-scene footage that never made it on the last video. We're going to show you that tonight. We're going to tell you a little bit about setups. So if you're here for setups, before you're going to go to RJ's this weekend, I got my Mud Boss car sitting, well, over there. I don't know if we'll have to use the Traxxas Modified tonight because everything that went wrong, but we will hit that up later on. And if you're just joining the night, hey, this is member night. Thursday nights normally when the pro members get to see all this, and we dive right into it. We dive right into setups, and that's what we're going to be doing. So my plan, if you've seen the schedule that I just laid out, it's a busy schedule for me. Thursday nights will be setups for the members, and it's the semi-pro members and above. So you need to become a member, a semi-pro member of the Oval RC YouTube channel in order to watch the setups that we have moving forward. And the schedule I laid out on Facebook, I'm not exactly sure what we have when anymore. I was busy thinking it all out. I know we got 13.5 Sprint coming up. We have Losi Sprint coming up, and basically, you know, nights that I think I'll be racing these cars, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Another big change this year, and starting first week April, is Monday nights will be for, we're going to be putting together the Tamiya Grand Hauler. So I got this Tamiya Grand Hauler kit in the box, brand new. Monday nights, we're going to be doing that. You're going to have to be at least a beginner member and above. So it's the cheapest membership you can get, but Monday nights you'll be able to watch. And you semi-pro members and above, of course you can watch. You can watch, semi-pro guys can watch anything that we have live. They can also watch all the past videos, so that's how all that's going. If you have any questions about that, ask it now, and I'll be glad to talk to you all about it. You know, we do this so that way I can afford to do this. So that's why we have the membership guys, and that's why you're all watching for free tonight. It's kind of like a membership drive tonight. But anyway, I got some things planned out for tonight. Who's hot and who's not, right? Let's dig into it. Let's talk about it tonight. So I did print out the points currently in the RC Dirt Star Series. I didn't make up the points, but Kermit Horning did. That is promoter of the RC Dirt Star Series. I'm just a video guy, and every now and then throw up some advertisements for you guys. Traxxas Modified, we got Brian White, 18 points. Gary Labe and Mark Claus, top 3. Alex Moyer, Jim Westerman. Traxxas Modified. Brian White really has the field covered on this here. Gary Labe not doing too bad. He's probably going to make all the races. Me, I'm not sure. I may jump around. I'm not really a point guy, even though I am running third right now in the points. We'll see. I haven't raced for points in a long time. I don't like that stress. Plus, you know, I got to work till 12 o'clock on Saturday. Run up the turnpike, make it to Mahoning Valley Speedway, get the camera out, get my car out, maybe make a qualifying heat or not. I don't know. If not, I'll be thrown last into the last main just to race with you guys. But yeah, and then I get there, I do my interviews, I do my talking, I do everything, I video the races. It's a wild day for me. Anyway, Traxxas Modified, Brian White, he's hot, okay? Brian White's got some wins going on. He's got a fast car. He's fast at Motorama. He's fast at Pheasantland. He's fast everywhere. The guy is top 3, top 5. Everywhere I see him. Gary Labe, old schooler, he's going to be there. Okay, Alex Moyer, the kid can drive. That's all I can say. You guys that are farther down than that, like Jim Westerman, Boop Andrews, Jack Munson, you guys got some work to do. You're not so hot. Chuck Eccles, 5 in the Traxxas Modified. I think Chuck couldn't make the last race. So BL2 Mud Boss, man, we got a big one here. So our biggest classes are, you know, the 360 Sprints, Losi Sprints, and BL2. Brian White leading the points right now in BL2 Mud Boss, followed by Kyle Horning, Brian Horning, Chuck Eccles, Scott Fisher, Gary Labe. That's your top 5 out of the top 5. Matt Bruns, Cody Roth, Kurt Nicholas, Ray Horning. Little surprised that Kurt Nicholas, you know, out of that top 5. I think because he didn't race out at RJ's, so it may have been a drop for him. I think they have a drop. I'm not sure. You got to ask Kermit. Brian White again. On top, man. On top. The guy's on his game. Kyle Horning, don't count that guy out ever. Kyle can drive. I don't care what anybody says. Kyle is a shoe. He's run 130-some races in 1 year. The man can drive. That's all I got to say. Throw him a car and he'll get it up to the front. Brian Horning. Woo! Brian Horning sitting third place right now, saying he's going to make every race he can. Looking forward to that, right? What Brian Horning is saying. So, you know, a little while back we interviewed Brian Horning, and this is some of the interviews that I talked about that I did earlier. Let's see if we can get the interview from Brian Horning for you guys. Now, I got to do it this way. Sorry, because I think that's what messed things up. Let's see if we can get Brian Horning's interview here. We'll bring that up. Here we go. I want you to look into that camera there. I want you to say what you have to say about for Dave.
Hey, Dave, I want to race against you because you're one of the best, and I think if I can hang with you, I'm doing real good.
There you go. You've been called out, Dave. That means come on down here and race these guys that have been waiting to race against you, and Brian's looking forward to it.
Yes,
I am. Okay, that was Brian Horning, and what we're talking about there is that was only a short clip that I had from Brian, and I'm going to be setting up other things here for you guys while I'm doing that. So, yeah, I have a lot going on, like I said. That whole interview was about Brian, and he was talking about Dave Peak. So, early on in the year, we were only going to have so many classes. We weren't going to have a lot of classes, and there was talks of money, you know, money in the points. I think there still might be. I don't have anything really to do with that. But, you know, since they started adding a bunch of classes, the excitement went down a little bit, I'm afraid, guys. So, you know, I talked with the promoter about that and said, you know, we should narrow it down to just maybe four pro classes to make it really hot. That's what we want. We want 4 hot classes. Paying classes, that's what I wanted anyway, because it makes good video, it makes excitement, it makes people want to come out. But we have a lot of different classes in the pro class, and I don't know how the payouts and all that work. I really don't. Brian was talking about Dave Peak. He wants Dave Peak to come down and race him. That's something Brian's always wanted to do. Yes, Dave recently went through a stroke. And I didn't expect him after that to come down here. So, I I understand that. You know, Dave got to take care of his health. He went out to Motorama. That's enough stress. Is he going to make it out for any of the Dirt Star Series, RC Dirt Star Series? I don't know. I really don't know. We just wish him good luck and hope he's doing well. So, okay, let's move on here. And first, I want to see who I got next. All right. So, next, you know, is one of the racers. We'll talk about him. Maybe we'll wait a little bit to do that. Because right now, you know, let's talk about 360 sprints. That class has a lot of people in it. I'm going to bring up these points here for you guys. Hopefully you can see that. Here we go. This is what the points look like right now, right? We got Phil Cooper, Phil Marabella, Cameron Floyer, Aaron Miller, Kane Metzger, John Willman, Lance Batdorf, Doug Knaus. Right on down the line. But, you know, the ones that are battling for the top spots right now, it's Phil Cooper, Phil Marabella. I'm sorry, it's Phil Cooper, Garrett Williamson. What the heck did I do there? How the heck did I do that? I have no idea. Didn't even print out the right one. Boy, everything's messed up. All right, let's get out of that. So my point's a little bit different than what I just showed you, but we got Phil Cooper on top, Garrett Williamson, Phil Marabella, Cameron Floor, Casey Hess, Aaron Miller, Lance Batdorf. Not sure how many that is, but that looks like it's pretty close to. We got also Louis Pavelek and Kane Metzger. And it looks like it's about the top 10 right there so far, and I don't know if the drops are counted right now. Who's my pick in here right now? You know, how can you go against Phil Cooper? He's the man. If you don't know who Phil Cooper is, watch him race. Watch him come from the back. Right now, point leader starts at the rear. So if you qualify through the heats, you got to start last in the A main. So that's the main thing. You got to qualify. And if you qualify, then you line up by your points, but it's inverted. So you start, point leader starts last. Second place starts ninth. Third place starts eighth. That's how it is in the RC Dirt Star Series. Really like that. I love seeing the point guy having to make his way up to the front. Puts on a whole different show, really does. We've seen that this week in the last video, the RC Dirt Star Series race number 2 out there at the factory. We've seen some great racing. So this weekend, what are you going to see? You're going to see 360 sprints. You're going to see Losi sprints on video, more than likely. Or we're going to see BL2, maybe. We have Traxxas modified midgets and 10.5 late models. They don't have, I don't even think they have 10 entries each. We're going to show some of that stuff, but it's not going to be highlighted. I like to see C mains, B mains, A mains. That's what I like to see. The 360 sprint car class. So guys were wondering, you know, why didn't we have a 410 class, an open sprint class? The guys were really having trouble coming together with the rules when we were putting this deal together. But we knew if we had a 360 purpose-built class that we would allow anybody to run it. And we wanted it to be popular. We wanted everybody to be racing it, no matter what your skill level. And what we got is some great racing. You know, when you race a series, you know, my series that I put on were never about novice drivers. It's a series. It's not a local race. It's a series. You know, it was my series paid money. My series brought fame on the internet with YouTube. You know that you gotta practice. You gotta be good if you're going to run in these series. You can be a novice and run in there, but we're not going to highlight novice and do stuff like that because we want good racing. We want awesome racing. We want the best drivers to come out. 360 sprints got it. Like I said, my who's hot and who's not. You know, Cooper definitely hot. All right, one of the top drivers in the area in the mod sprint in the 360 in this series. Great driver. Garrett Williamson, if you watched this past weekend, or the last time we were at the factory, picked off Cooper and got the win. We interviewed him at the end. That was great. Phil Marabella, one of the top drivers in the area also. Phil can go to the Chili Bowl and compete there also. Phil's sitting in third place. Can't count him out. Cameron Floor, one of the best around. Casey Haas, Aaron Miller, Lance Batdorf, and don't forget about Kane Metzger hanging down there. He might have missed one race, but he may be here in the end. You know, and then we got a lot of other guys in that list there. So many you can talk about, but we're talking about who's hot and who's not. So who's not on this list, right? I'm looking down at the bottom half with 2 points. And there's a whole list of them, so I don't know how the point system is handed out. But we have, at 2 points, Kyle Nouse, Logan Nouse, TJ Gockley, Terry Hartlaw, Boots, Dave Marr, Blake Miller, Mitchell Raymer, Chris Bardell, Doug Steele, Joe Westerman, Owen Weiss. These guys may have only made one race. They probably didn't do well, so, hey, it's okay, but they're not hot on the series right now. Midgets. All right, the midget class is one of the pro classes in the series. We got Les Hartzell. Les Hartzell leading the way. Les is the man when I watched him race 360 for years, big block. He's leading the points in midgets and outbeating his brother Dale right now. And Dale's also very hot. We'll talk about him in a bit. We have John Willman, Kane Metzger, Brett Hollinger, Lance Batdorf, Bruce Callahan, Mickey Greenwald. You know, the top 3 guys, 16 points to 10 points, you know, or Kane Metzger even at 9. Maybe these guys only made one race each, but we got Les sitting on top. Who's the guy to beat in there? That's a tough one. Any one of these guys can come up and win a race. You know, Les, Dale, John Willman, Kane Metzger, any one of them. And Brett Hollinger even. I'm surprised to see him on the list, but not up top. All right, moving on to 10.5 late model. Hope you guys are still with me, right? You still with me? Who's out there? We got any comments as far as what's going on in this hot or who's not? Who's your pick there? Go ahead and put up the comment, guys, so I know you're with me. All right, 10.5 late model. We got Les Hartzell leading the way again. So he's leading both classes right now, 10.5 midgets. George Vardsick, James Henry, Brett Hollinger, Chris Spidell, TJ Gockley, and Jeff Foster. Top 3 are running third place, 11 points, second 15. Les Hartzell's got 19. There may be a drop in there, so really can't count anything because we should only be counting one race currently. And Les Hartzell is sitting on top with 19 total points in 10.5 late model. And then we get to Losi Sprints. Sitting on top is Dale Hartzell, and Dale's been putting out some great numbers. And before we get into this Losi Sprint, we're going to talk to one of the Losi Sprint drivers who's been shown on the channel. We'll not talk to him, but we're going to show you a clip that I interviewed him earlier this year. And let's see how that works, right? Here we go. Get ready, and we're going to dial this up for you guys, so just sit tight. Got all kinds of stuff ready to go. We'll see if this works. Again, this is such a bad way to do it, but I think this was the problem earlier, so here we go. All right, we're going to switch over now. Let's see what Lance has to say. Here we go.
Lance Batdorf, one of the toughest guys to beat in the area around here at our local tracks. Lance, we got a new series starting up this year, the RC Dirt Star Series. I'm sure you heard about it.
I have.
You know, 13.5 Sprint, 10.5 late model, you know, Mud Boss, and I think there's 2 more yet that I'm forgetting right now, but are you going to be in that series?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you looking to run the whole series?
Most likely, yes.
So I know there's going to be some money involved. There's going to be some point money involved. What do you think about all that?
I'm excited for it. I mean, it's something different. It's something new. It's something to try out.
So what do you think about this whole 13.5 class deal? Because they're going to be running 13.5 instead of Mod Sprint because the numbers just been better for 13.5. How do you like that?
I think it's going to be interesting having some mod guys in the 13.5 group. Some people are going to like it. Some people aren't. But, I mean, if you, like for the first race, I'm honestly expecting around 35 sprints, which just going to be interesting.
All right, Lance Batdorf, he's going to be in the series, guys. Look for him, RC Dirt Star Series.
All right, there we go. That's Lance Batdorf talking about the RC Dirt Star Series, and we interviewed him, talked to him about the 13.5, you know, this year, as we were talking about earlier with the mod sprint, not with the guys not sure what they were going to do, so we decided to go with that 13.5 sprint class instead. It's called 360 sprints, and guys are liking that idea that are running the series. They seem pretty happy with it. So let's go back over here. I want to first check in with everybody. Hey, can anybody give me a shout out? Let me know that you're still hanging in there. Making sure that we didn't lose connection during this thunderstorm here. That might have been the whole problem to begin with. I'm saving up to build a 360 Sprint for this coming fall winter. Nice. Nice. Way to go. I'm here, Mark. Okay, thank you. Because, yeah, the wind was blowing. I see, you know, we had to dive off and people here, so I wasn't sure if we lost connection or what's going on. Doesn't look like we had any problems, but you never know. It's a weird night tonight, right? So Losi 360 Sprints, you know, Dale Hartzell looking really good, guys. We're heading back to RJ's. We started out at RJ's, went to the factory, heading back to RJ's this weekend on Saturday, and Dale Hartzell is a shoe at this place. So the biggest thing that these guys are going to be battling, that from what I've seen, is traction rolling. The cars are going to have a lot of traction, and you're going to have to, when you get there, be careful not tighten that car up too tight, because as we've seen, the cars start traction rolling, and these guys fight that the rest of the day. But I love a nice tight track. I like a good high bite track, and that RJ's Mahoning Valley RC Speedway, same thing. They're going to have a good track this weekend. Second place right now in points, Losi Sprints, is Kyle Horning. You know, the man is a shoe with the Losi Sprints. I go up against him at Pheasantland. He puts a whooping on everybody there. Hardly anybody right now can beat Kyle, you know, and even when he's sitting back pretty far, you count him out. Just like we seen out at the factory, the man comes back and wins it, in which we got a clip here showing you that. It's going to look pretty good. Lance Batdorf sitting third right now, and his buddy Cody Roth sitting right behind him. So we got a really good tight battle right now in the Losi Sprints. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't even know why I'm holding that like that, because it's not even the one I'm talking to. All right, so yes, with Cody Roth sitting in fourth place, Kermit Horning in fifth, Brian White in sixth. You know, that Losi Sprint battle's tight. And then we got Alex Moyer, Jeff Foster, Doug Canals, Joseph Schaefer, Scott Fisher, Sean Horning, Todd Ravel. And we got a long, long, long list of the Losi Sprints. But that's going to be a great battle to watch. We're going to be interviewing the top drivers. So if you're in that top 5, top 10, get ready. If you're in that top 5, top 10 in 360 Sprints, you know, these are the classes we're going to be watching this week. Maybe throw in a BL too. Not really sure. Excuse me. Let's see who we got coming up next that we did a video for you guys. Still working on my 13.5 motors while listening. Great. All right, so let me bring this up here. It's not very easy doing all this. Last person we talked to was Lance. Let's see who we got next. Next is going to be an interview with Dale. So we interviewed Dale at the factory to see how he was running after the heats. And this is what the interview looked like here, guys. Let's see what Dale has to say. Give me a second while I line that up. It really stinks being a one-man band, I'll tell you what. That looks good. Let's see if we can get that to happen. Here we go. Let's see what Dale has to say.
Dale Hartzell. Dale, you got the A-main coming up with that Losi Sprint, and you won the last race, so I think you had a target on your back for this one here. Does it have you worried a little bit?
I think it was a rough heats today. They weren't letting me go by.
Lance?
It was rough.
Lance said it was pretty tough out here. So tell me how hard coming through the heats was it today for you?
It was hard because people weren't being considerate and moving over. Which, you know, I understand, but if you're that much quicker, you need to just move up a bit and don't screw your lineup, you know, and keep going.
And Losi Sprint's pretty big class here today, so you got some pretty tough competition in that Losi Sprint coming up.
They fought me in there. car's quick. Just in practice just a while ago, I was down at 5.1s, and I don't think anybody else turned that yet. So we'll see.
We'll see if you have the luck like the rest of us.
And there you go. That was Dale Hartzell out at the factory during this last race, race number 2, talking about guys not moving over when he's leading the race, which could cause some problems. I think that happened during the heats. But, you know, Dale Hartzell currently sitting on top of the points, running a 5.1, and he wasn't sure if anybody could do that, you know. So let's clear that out for you guys, and then we're going to bring on somebody new here. And this guy here, you've seen him before. We're going to see what Cody has to say about all that. And we asked him what he had to say about Dale. Give me a second while I cue this up. Here we go. Sorry, let me get my mic together here. We got... I can't figure out how to do that, so we'll do that. Here we go.
All right, guys, the man who will wreck his grandmother to win a race, it's Cody Roth. Cody, another week, you know, here in the RC Dirt Star Series, and you finished second at the last race. Are you looking forward to this A-Main here? Is it pretty tough?
I think it's going to be a tough race. Struggle with the car a little bit, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Dale Hartzell just told me he's running 5.1s. That seems pretty quick. You got something for him?
I don't know if we're going to have anything for him, but we're going to try.
Good luck, Cody.
Thank you.
And that was Cody Roth, and as we had said there, you know, he's the guy that said he would wreck his grandmother to win a race. And guys, he didn't actually say that. I edged him on to, we want to hear some good stuff, right? If I'm out there interviewing you guys and we want to fire people up, we want to have a good time. We don't want everybody being like, you know, the old NASCAR interview. Well, yeah, we ran pretty good, but the car was a little bit low and a little tight in the corner, and we don't want to hear that. We want to hear some fun, some excitement. You know, Cody Roth brought that fun and excitement, saying he was going to wreck his grandmother to win a race, but he was actually going back and forth with his buddy Lance Batdorf, having some fun. So that was a really cool moment that we had out there, and that was at the first race there at RJ's, and then we interviewed Cody again just there at the factory. So we talked with Cody about, you know, Dale running in that low time, and we seen Cody struggle a little bit. He didn't think that he could hang with those guys, and you know, Cody's sitting 1, 2, 3, 4th in the point standings right now, but he's going to be a threat out here at RJ's coming up. So we expect Cody Roth to be at the next couple races. We're going to be, Cody, if you're listening, you're going to be interviewed this weekend. Get ready, because you know, you got guys in front of you. We want to know if you can beat these guys like Lance. You know, what are you going to do about Lance and his tire warmers? What are you going to do about Kyle Horning and the man's Ice, right? That is Ice Horning right there. So he was looking for a nickname. I think that's a good nickname for Kyle. Let's call Kyle Ice. He is. Dale Hartzell. Whew, this guy is going to be tough, guys. So let's see who else we can queue up on the interview here that we did, and see what we got. Oh, man, I did this. Okay, let's... Give me a second here. I'll queue everything up. Oh, need to get it ready, I guess. So this is a little bit of the race that happened that you guys didn't get a chance to see out the factory. This is just a clip from the Losi Sprint race. Check it out. This is what happened. This played a big part in the Losi Sprint race at the factory. Here we go. Check this out. And I don't know why we don't have no sound there. Oh, here we go. We'll hit that clip one more time for you guys. I know what happened. Hang tight, hang tight. You know, this is, well, let's do that again, guys. Sorry about that. I'm telling you, this stuff is not easy to do. Here we go. Now you'll be able to hear it this time. You know, I got all this makeshift stuff going on. I'm afraid to do anything because of what happened tonight. Here we go. Little racing action from the factory in the Losi class. Let's watch it this time.
Jeff Foster in the lead. Kyle Horning in second. Oh, your leader upside down. And Kyle stuck too. Your leader sitting there. Kyle gets the lead. Kyle has an open track in front of him. Kyle in that number 49. Foster, just like that, falls way back. Foster upside down again. Led the whole race. Now he's got trouble. Now he's going a lap down just like that. 5 to go. Kyle Horning getting a gift here late.
And that was the big change in the race that I seen with the Losi Sprints. Yeah, Jeff Foster looked like the man to beat, and it looked like the man can do no wrong. Let's see where he's sitting right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Jeff Foster sitting 8th right now. You know, he was hot at the factory. Maybe not, you know. When I watched him, it looked like this guy's gone. He's gone. Nobody's catching this guy. Who is this Jeff Foster? I think it's, okay, that's Fisher. I'm not sure who Foster is. I have to meet him. We're going to have to interview him because he's on that list. If we see him out at RJ's this weekend, Scott, get ready. We want to hear some answers. What happened to you during that race this last time? I'm sorry, not Scott, Jeff Foster. So, Jeff, be ready to answer some questions at RJ's this weekend. We want to know what's going on with your sprint car. What happened during that race there? You had such a good lead. And, yeah, Kyle came through. Let's see what Kyle had to say after that race. Let's bring up Kyle here. This time I won't forget to turn on the mic, but we interviewed Kyle. Let's see what he's got to say.
Winner of that Losi Sprint class is Kyle Horning. Kyle, what a race you had. You know, things didn't look good. You kept falling back, and then what happened?
I think I started third or fourth, fell back to sixth or seventh, and I followed Lance to the front. I seen he was a little bit sideways, but I'm like, he'll wreck through the field.
When you got the lead, could you even believe what was going on?
I was just trying to stay steady, and then I seen that Jeff wrecked, and I knew he was running second or third, so I'm like, I think I got a lap in the field. I might as well just wait. I knew where Dale was, so I knew he took over second, so I was good.
A couple laps to go, and you checked out and went on to win the race.
Yep.
Anybody you want to thank for that?
I got to thank Russ Lebo. His old car, so can't.
Maybe a dedication to that
all the
race.
time. I won't take a picture with that car. That was the last car right now that came out of his trailer, so.
All right, guys. Winner of the Losi Sprint class here today at the Factory RC Raceway RC Dirt Star Series, and Kyle loves that name.
Yeah, I do.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Thank you.
There we go. Kyle Horning, the winner of the last race there at the factory with the Losi Sprints. And the guy's a beast. Man, when you're up against him on the racetrack, be ready because he will find his way to the front, and he definitely knows how to get those Losi Sprints around the track. He's running the previously owned Russ Lebo Losi Sprint, and that thing, it's tough to beat, guys. He laps me every time I go to Pheasantland. Kyle Horning, he's hot, man. He's hot. He's the one you got to watch this weekend. He can take over the point lead over Dale. I can see that happening. Lance Batdorf and Cody Roth, you guys got to watch out for Kyle. You know that. You know, both Lance and Cody are really, really good drivers. I think Kyle's got an edge on them. So, you know, Lance, Cody, you guys are like lukewarm, but Kyle, man, you're hot. Dale, you're hot, and we can't wait to see what happens this weekend. Kermit Horning, Brian White, Alex Morier, all Jeff Foster, all you guys, if you're coming to the RJ Speedrome this weekend, I got to say you got to turn up the heat, you know, especially Doug Canals. Doug Canals, you know, had a great run. We did an interview with him. He was on race number 2 there. I mean, he was on race number 1 up at the RJ Speedrome. So Doug Knaus, he can get it done. Scott Fisher, you know, we also seen Scott Fisher's name in BL2. Scott did really good out at Motorama. I raced against him just the other week here at Pheasantland. Scott Fisher, you know, he's a lukewarm driver, you know. I don't know, Todd Ravel. Todd Ravel was running up front too for a while, and something happened to him. That Losi Sprint car class, that can be anybody's race. It really can. When you're calling out that race there, filming that, it's just like, okay, this new TQ, new TQ. And I was just interviewing guys for the TQ and just kept up being a new guy every time. Okay. Down at the bottom of the list on the Losi Sprints, you know, we're looking at a very solid guy here, Chuck Eccles, but I think travel's been his problem lately with family matters. Kyle Knaus, Dwayne Lindenmuth, Kane Metzger, Ferris Vaughn, Dan Schaefer, John Wynn, Lucas Yoder is out of his Losi now. Actually, the Losi that Lucas Yoder had is very, very fast. Lucas was one of the new members here on the channel. I started talking about my Losi Sprint, giving him some ideas. Next thing you know, Lucas sold his car, and now Alex Moyer is on fire with that car. Alex Moyer just won Losi Sprint this past Tuesday at Pheasantland, and he was flying. So Alex is going to be the guy to watch when we get to Pheasantland with the RC Dirt Star Series. Does he have enough to take it over this weekend at RJ's? I don't know. You know, if I'm a betting man, you know, we're looking at Dale Hartzell really hard this weekend. He had a lot of control of that car on the Losi Sprint, and it seemed like he could really control that thing from flipping over. That's what I'm looking at right there with the RC Dirt Star Series and our hot and not what's going on. You guys will see more interviews from me. I will be heading to the race this weekend, Saturday. I'm going to be racing. I'm not sure which car yet. Either my Traxxas Modified or my Traxxas Mud Boss. I'm not sure which yet. So I did say I would give some of the new members some extra stuff. If you see the RC Discharger cover here on my table, I got all this stuff laid out too. That's because I'm in the process of shooting a video for RC Discharger. And I do have everything right here too. So I will bring this out. Some of the members hear this every week, but I will bring this out for some of the new guys. If you haven't been on the channel, you know, as a member yet, guys, we talk about this stuff every week. These are the two products that I'm reviewing right now. The video's almost near done, but it's been taking me a while to do. This is the 2S model, and this is the 4S off-road model. So if you guys are looking at either one of these really hard, they work. Plain and simple. If you want to lower the IRs of your battery and you want to cycle your batteries fast, yes, they work, and you'll see this video I have coming up on this shortly. That's all I can say. I have a lot of videos in the editor, but this one here is kind of hot right now. You know, we're not going to get into how to use these, but, you know, when you lower your IRs of your battery toward the end of the race, when everybody else is slowing down, you still have that power. When that motor wants power, if it has lower IRs in the battery, it's going to be able to pull that power from that battery. I'm not an electrical expert. I'm none of that. But I can tell you that's what it's all about. When you lower the IRs of the battery and the motor or the ESC pulls that power, it does it easier with the lower internal resistance. That's why we do it. There you go. Two great products from RC Discharger. Just want to give them a shout out. And that video, as I said, I'm working on it. It's been some late nights in the studio, and it's going to get even later yet. If you guys just joined in, and if you haven't seen this here, this is my new GFRP 13.5. I just did the video, how to assemble the chassis. Basically, yeah, the kit. I'm working on the rest of the video right now. It's already videoed. I'm just working on it in the editor. showing you guys how to put the cage together and how to cut the body apart and everything else. I'm not a fan of cutting a body apart in a kit. I don't know why they can't. This should come already cut. The hole should come already drilled. That way you can assemble the kit and go. That was a long time putting this together for me. First purpose-built kit I put together. I really like the quality of the car. It's amazing quality. But you know, when you got to cut your body out, I don't know. It's not really screaming anything to me. You know, I just did a new Losi body, and that was a dream to put together. So these purpose-built cars, yeah, you know, they got more, I don't know. They should be easier to put together in kit form, okay? A Losi Sprint car body should not be easier to put together than that, and it is. Here we go. What do we got next? So I did promise. I hate to get my table all dirty here, so we're not gonna because I don't feel like cleaning that. Let's get this out here. If you guys have any questions, I really hope you ask it now because this is free night tonight. That's why we're on here. The interactive show is kind of quiet tonight. Normally our views, you know, our guys are asking questions. We're talking back and forth with everybody. It's pretty quiet tonight. What's going on? What are you guys doing? Is there a thunderstorm going on that's knocking you out there? Marshall says, yeah, person run Brock Hefner ran 5.3s this past winter there. Yes. All right. So guys, here we have the Traxxas modified car, and I ran this last time at RJ's. I also ran this at the factory. I changed it up at Pheasantland just recently. Are you running the V3 tires on the modified? Not yet. Not yet. I still have the V3 tires in the box. Haven't even got them out yet. Just finished up the motor testing, soldered her in, so I'm good to chat now. Great. Awesome. Yeah, I got to put the motor in my 13.5 too. But last night I'm soldering up wires for my RC discharger. So I did say, like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about setup here. And, you know, I got some, let's do this. Before it gets too late in the show, I want to get to, this is the members that we have so far. You guys can see the semi-pro members. Our semi-pro members and our pro member, Brent Wilson. You can also see our beginner members. This is how many members we have on the Oval RC right now. So if you want to become a member, you want to watch every Thursday night setups, and you want to watch the Tamiya truck building on Monday nights, that's going to happen Monday, first week in April, we're going to start building the Tamiya truck. Yes, that kit from scratch. It's basically going to be, hey, join in. It's not going to be an exciting show, but we're going to be going through the build of that Tamiya truck and maybe go through the whole entire build like I really want to build it. I'd like to build out a car carrier. And I want to put lights on it. I want to put sound in it. It's going to take a while. You know, I want to paint it. So we'll be going through that. Also, I still have the brand new 3D printer that we got to get out, and we'll be adding that to Monday night show also. Even though I'll be throwing that in on a regular video so you guys can see that no matter what. But so much good content going to be coming up here on the channel. Monday nights, Thursday nights. Not to mention the RC Dirt Star series races, more product reviews. We got it all. All right, let's get back. Now you guys can see all the members. The member list was updated pretty good. We're doing really well with that. And if you'd like to become a member, just go to the channel, click where it says join, and I recommend you go to semi-pro membership so you can see all the videos. If you join as a semi-pro member, you can go back and watch all the previous videos. If you want to know how to set up this car, you can do that. It's in the previous video. This transmission got serious problems. If you want to know how to make your car faster, become a semi-pro member, go back and watch that video. We have it all in there. We also show you how to do the diff on this car. We show you how to do the setup on the Losi. We show you how to do the tires. I have extensive grinding videos on tires. My members know what I went through already on videos. So if you become a semi-pro member, whatever, you can watch all the videos from the past and the current. If you're a beginner member, you can only watch videos that are a year old. Those I am pushing out to beginner members, and beginner members will now be able to watch Monday night building the Tamiya truck. All right. Enough self-promotion, I guess, there. So if you're heading to RJ's this weekend, and which is Mahoning Valley RC, it is a paper clip, okay? It's got two pretty decent straightaways for a short track and a really tight turn. There's not much infield there, so you got to get the car to fly around the corner. This car here did really well there, although I messed it up a little bit. So all the settings I had before, if you go back and watch my previous videos and my setups that we talked about with this car, that's what I got to do. I got to put that setup in this car tomorrow night, so I'm ready to go for Saturday if I run this car. I may run my BL2 Mud Boss, not sure. Tires, I am running, there was a first version tire that came out with the Traxxas Modified, and then there was a second tire that came out, and that has a very firm foam. That's what I have on this car right now. The whole car's got this very firm foam. If you look, and this is what I was looking to do earlier, and I got sidetracked. Let's get that there. And we'll flip some different angles so you guys can see. Now, when we do our setup nights, it's normally not this crazy, so that whole thing early on, I don't know what happened, but it messed me up big time. All right, but we normally dig in pretty close here. You guys can see, let me zoom in as close as I can. You can see there's not much tread on those tires. And it's even off the foam a little bit. So when I push down that's the hard part of the foam, you can see there's a little airspace in between the rubber and the foam. But every tire is ground down really nice. You can see it over here. And sorry for the movements, but that's the way we got it. All right, can we zoom in any closer? Yeah, you can see my rear tires. My right rear even folds up a little bit to let you know how much play we have in the foams. The left rear, you can see that's ground down too. So these tires will be prepped pretty heavily for RJ's this weekend if I take this car. You can also see my settings, not going to get too much into it, but I have already in past videos, I give you measurements of what this space is right here. If you're going to RJ's, just screw the right rear all the way down. Let's see what else. Screw that left front all the way down. Screw the right front all the way up. And the left rear, let me get to that. Right there, you can see my left rear over there. That's got about, maybe a little less than 1/4 of an inch from the top of the cap. Actually, it might be right at 1/4 of an inch from the top of the cap to the adjuster. So what we have here is, and this is part of the setup we're talking about, right? We have a car that's going to get around the corner pretty good because we have a lot of weight here. We have a lot of weight here. We got a lot of cross weight. I'm sorry, cross weight's going to be here. We have very little cross weight. So cross weight's measured left rear to right front. Now, if you pick up the corner, you'll see the left side picks up really easy. The right front picks up really easy. The left front's almost solid. And the right rear is almost solid. So we have a lot of weight on this left front and right rear. We have very little weight in our cross weight. Camber is very critical on these cars, and you want to lean that right rear out a little bit and the right front out a little bit, which I don't have in this car right now because it's set up for Pheasant Land, but I will go back and review my videos, and we're going to set this car back up to where it was because it was a great handling car. We had a winning setup. We are running stock gearing. Shock oil, I think we're running 80 in the right rear, 80 in the left rear, hardly anything in the right front, and maybe 30 weight in the left front. So you have to throw, you know, that setup in there if you want to get around those corners, and you will. If you get around those corners fast, you're going to be fast at Mahoning RC. So we'll see if we take that this weekend. Really not short. You know, we're on here for an hour right now. Well, just coming up on an hour. See what else we have on that car. Really nothing else. That's really all you got to do to that Traxxas Modified. And the big key is the camber on that right rear. You know, moving that thing out just a little bit will really pick up a lot of speed, especially at RJ's. I'm going to get all this dirt off this counter here. And that's what I got for you guys. So I wanted to talk about who was hot and who was not. You know, a little bit of setup talk, but we got RJ's. Let's bring that back up again for those who just tuned in right now. Bring that here for you guys. And if you have any questions, please ask right now. Gotta do that. And that. Tell you, it's been a very hard night tonight, guys. That's where we'll be at this weekend. Saturday, the RC Dirt Star Series. We will be at RJ Speedrome. It's now called Mahoning Valley RC. 2522 Blake C. Boulevard, Lehighton, PA. Gates open up at 9 o'clock. Race time at 1 p.m. I'll be getting there probably late. And yeah, that's Saturday, March 28th. So we'll hope to see you guys out there, that's for sure. We'll be definitely doing our interviews, and I'll be getting a video up later of the third RC Dirt Star Series race. Oh, set up your trick with lifting the front left to keep the left rear down. Worked wonders, yes. Got my dad's times from 6.3 to 6.4 down to 6.0 at foot. Yes, yes. Full throttle's like the perfect place. So, great. That is great. So, I told a guy this. Well, I told my members this last week. We'll come out. I'm glad you mentioned that. Right? On the Mud Boss car, and let's see. Let me switch back over to that. Let's go to here. Okay. And then we'll go to here. I got so many buttons. But it's good to hear a member and what they have to say. Because last week, you know, a lot of times, guys, we talk about same thing every week, or it's going to seem like the same thing, but eventually something's going to stick in your mind. It's going to say, oh, wow, okay, I'll try that. So last week, we talked about if your car is traction rolling or diffing out. The big thing was diffing out because my car was diffing out. So if you're diffing out on a high bite track like full throttle, and that's where he's talking about Full Throttle Speedway up in New York, perfect scenario. You know, my scenario for this whole thing was Hoagland's down in Jersey when Jerry was running the track. It was extremely high bite. Now, a way that I found to keep the car, everybody was traction rolling. Everybody's car was flipping over. Mine wasn't, because I did a simple thing. I took the left front and I put limiters inside of it, lift it up like that. And then what happens is the car falls down on the left front and it plants that left rear. It does it automatically. So that's going to keep your car down on the left side from traction rolling, just by lifting up that left front. If your car is a little loose on the back end, you can lift up the left front by putting limiters inside the shocks. And that'll speed up the car, because number one, it's going to keep the left side planted to give you more bite, which helps. It's not going to traction roll, and you're not going to diff out. So yes, keep that in mind. I did that this 2 weeks ago for the charity race, and that's why we talked about it. So charity race, I knew I was diffing out a little bit. I had a shock with me. So the shock that I had a little bit more limiters inside, and what it did was it lifted up that left front a little bit like that, pulled that thing down, took that diff action out, and we were actually running pretty quick. I ended up leading 3/4 of the race, if not up to 10 laps to go, and then Chad at Pheasant Land finally got me. And another lap car took me out where I ended up third, or else I would have ended up second. But that trick works great. At RJ's, yes, it's going to work, but I would have a shock ready to go, because if you lift this up early on and then you go out there on the track, it's going to push like a dump truck. You'll be like, oh, this is terrible, Mark. You got to wait till the track comes in. So for the last practice session, if you got an extra shock with you that you took, well, if you added just a little bit of limiters in that left front to get that thing to squat down a little bit more, put that on for the last practice, go out and see what it's like. If it pushes too bad, then go back to your other shock. But that's one adjustment that you can make. So if the car is pushing, I take limiters out of the left front and I let that shock drop down. So we're talking about, if the car is pushing and you can't get it out by adjustments, extend your shock on the left front. What that'll do is add more weight in your left front and right rear. If the car's loose, take a chance, add a limiter to the inside of that shock, bring it up like that. It'll drop the front, and what that does, it adds the left rear. Really good tip right there. And with these cars here, again, adjustment on that right rear camber is critical. If it's pushing for you, you can't find it anywhere else, and these things here you can't put limiters in, move that camber out on the right rear here, especially at RJ's. It's going to pick up speed and go around that corner. So that's some of the setup tips I have for you guys tonight. We dig into it a lot more, so if you're watching this and you want to learn about setups, we put the car on scales quite often, actually. We'll come back in and say, hey, I had a good night. We'll scale the car. We'll measure everything out. Guys ask, hey, where you at with this? What did you change? And they'll go home and try it at their track, and guess what? It seems like it's working for those guys. With the Losi tire shortage, is there any trick to get the hard tires to work? Yes. I actually bought a set of Losi softs this week. They came from Amazon. Actually, they came from eBay. And I put them on the car. The car was so loose I couldn't even control it. Here, my tires had so much prep in them that it actually worked better than the soft tires. So I got to grind down my softs. I got to get them prepped up. I got to get some soak into them, I guess. Kind of wondering whether I wanted to do that coming up to RJ's, but my theory is always get bite into the tire and then take it away through setup after you do that. I just want to go fast and turn left. Yeah, you and me both. Setup is something you never master. Anybody who says they're a setup master should be able to go to the track and win every week. That's a master. Maybe Dave Peak. but maybe there's a few guys. There's a few Custom Works guys. I can't think of their name offhand, but the Custom Works drivers that I talked to in the past, interviewed, they're setup masters, guaranteed. Yeah, they can get around the track wherever they go. There's guys that know what they're doing, and then there's guys that just throw stuff at the car and say, well, you know, I put Coke syrup on my left rear, now I'm winning races. And they have no idea why that even worked. Or they're just throwing angles at the wheels and have no idea what it did. And this gets deep. This is not just one night of 5 minutes with the Oval RC and you're going to learn this stuff. The most important thing you need to know is, you know, I hear it all the time. Anybody give me the magic setup that I can start with that works good? I guess there is. I mean, I hear guys say that they run the same setup everywhere. So that's possible, right? But when you get to the track and it don't work and you got to make an adjustment, then you have to know why it don't work. And we'll bring that back up here, I guess, for a little bit because we still have a little bit of time before we check out today. Oh, maybe, unless we don't take out all the sound. Hopefully you guys, can still hear me. You know, if your car is pushing, guys, you go out there, I see guys go out there, it's like a dump truck. They don't know what to do with it. The reason why it's pushing is because there's too much weight on your left rear, or there's not enough bite on your right front. But guys' first reaction is, well, screw the shock down and maybe that'll give it more bite. No, screwing that shock down will actually make the car push more because you're making more bite. You got to think of it as a cross. So I'm giving you a quick setup help here, right? If your car's pushing, it's because there's too much weight on the left rear. It goes into the corner, it gets bite. The outside slips too much and the thing pushes. So what you got to do is you got to extend that shock on the left front and extend the shock on the right rear and get the weight off that left rear. Now, how much? You can go too far. So if let's say you do like I do, screw it all the way down here and the thing goes, spins right out. All right, well, guess what? You went too far. Back off a little bit. That's normally not the case with these cars because these cars are terrible. They're so heavy at the back end to begin with. But I screw my left front down, my right rear down. Cross, guys, cross. Put the weight on the left front, right rear, thing's going to go around the corner. If it's too loose, yes, you can go up with that left front. You can also jack a little weight down on that left rear. As I said, you can play with the camber on the right rear. When you move the camber out on the right rear, that helps the car go around the corner, entering into the corner. Now, it does a couple things, too. So when you move that camber out like that, these rims have a really hard spot on the inside and they have a really soft spot on the outside. So when you move that camber out, what that's also doing is putting more weight on the left front and right rear because it's pushing it down, putting that power down. Left rear camber, I usually just tilt it in a little bit. And if you're on a really, really, really high bite track and your car's handling great, if you move the tires in at the top, I don't know, what's that? That is, that would be negative camber. If you move them negative camber, that thing will get really stable for you and really help drive. All my cars right now are running 0 oil in the diff. We got some oil, a light oil to lubricate it. I use Molly oil. Don't run it completely dry because it's going to burn up. We've seen that. But all my diffs, they don't have any grease in. I tried. I don't know. I'm going to do some more tests with it, but over 15 years, it's still the same. Still no oil in the diff. Get those tires to plant. Get your car set up. You don't need oil in that diff. We don't have stagger. Talked about this time and time again. If you got left rear and right rear hooked up, you need stagger, because when you turn into the corner, the outside wheel is going to turn more than that left rear. All right? If you have stagger, you can do that. You can lock everything down. We don't have stagger, so you got to have a loose diff. So when that thing goes into the corner, these tires can turn at a different speed. That's why we run a really loose diff. Again, we get really, really deep into setup, guys, whether it be ceramic bearings, stuff you can do to the transmission to free it up. That's big. I saved like 4/10 out of my time by doing stuff to this transmission. All in these member videos. Everybody's got a chance to see it. If you want to learn how to set up your car, become a member, join, and that's what we do every Thursday night. Coming up, I have it on the schedule. Check out the schedule on the Oval RC Facebook, but you will see I put what our topic's going to be from here on out. Sorry about tonight. Tonight was a total disaster for me. Something happened. If you guys didn't see the earlier one, I deleted it, but I went on and we had no sound. So we started the whole night, no sound. I was totally bummed out. Took me an hour to get things figured out. I don't know what happened. I don't know if we had a lightning knock the power out or something quick, but we had no sound for a while. So I do have on the schedule that we'll be talking about 13.5 sprint car setup. Guess what? I know nothing about this car, but the fundamentals are the same. You still got the fundamentals. You still make the same changes pretty much. I mean, you do have some weight transfer to deal with this big wing up top here. You also have, I don't know what affects it more. Does the weight transfer affect it more, leaning it to the right, or the wind catching it to the left? I'll be learning all that. I'm very new to sprint cars, so you're going to learn that with me. I'm going to go out and run this car. We'll talk about the changes I made. We'll talk about what I did to make it faster, and hopefully in 10 more years, I'll be able to tell you how to set these cars up and be a setup master. So yes, that's what we got tonight. Let's answer some more questions. Where you got your camber links mounted on the rear hubs. On what car? Had a local guy at Full Throttle help me with the 360 sprint car, and ride height is very important. Setup aid. Do you worry about ride height at all with the modified or sportsman? Yes, I do. The modified, good question, by the way. With any car, when you lower the front and raise the rear, that loosens the car. If you lower the rear and raise the front, that tightens the car, meaning that when you lower the back end and you got more bite, the car is likely going to push. If you lower the front end and raise the rear, it's likely going to be loose. Or it's just going to rock around too much, and you'll have that too. So too much weight transfer is not good. Guys do try to get these things down to the ground as low as possible, and then they worry about getting all the traction with the tires. For the guys who visit me at the track at Pheasantland, they see my tires and they felt my tires. I spend a lot of time on tires anymore. There's a few guys that I have to beat yet. I'm not the fastest guy out there, and obviously I created trouble not too long ago by tearing somebody's tires apart because maybe I spent too much time on tires and maybe not enough on figuring out a few more fine details yet. Yes, I do worry about ride height. I try to get it as low as possible. You can't do it with the modified. You can, but you really can't, okay? You can't add limiters in this class, and there is ways to get that thing down there. There's ways to get the back end down there. I haven't really tested that yet because I was pretty fast for a while. Now the guys are getting faster than me, so I got to work on ways to get that ride height down. On the Mud Boss, it's easy. You just put limiters in your shocks. And yes, I have it down pretty low, but not too low. If you lower the front end really low on a Mud Boss, what happens is it gets really twitchy. Unless you're on a really, really high bite track, but still it gets too twitchy to where if you mess up, it wants to go right away. It wants to just spin out like that really quick, and you really can't save it. So I don't like to go too extremely low. And like I said, there's too far on each adjustment, okay? You can't, if I say, hey, move that right rear out on the top like that, well, if you go out and crank that thing as hard as you can, that's going to be too far. It's not going to work. There is variables they got to stay within, whether it's lowering the ride height or your camber settings. If you have a extreme amount of camber, I think it's a positive camber on the right rear. So right now we're almost negative, but I'll run like 4 degrees positive on that right rear for RJs. That's kind of a lot, but you know, we're trying to get weight to that left front and right rear. And anything to make it go around the corner easy. But be careful, there is something called too far. So any other questions? Where you got your camera links? Okay, I said it right. Traxxas Modified. Oh, Traxxas Modified. Where you got your camber links mounted on the rear hubs? Camber links mounted on the rear hubs. They are in the bottom position, all the way down. I tried putting them in the middle, that center hole above. I tried lowering the camber links basically. Didn't work because the drive shafts hit. I think they hit from what I remember. So yeah, I don't have them. Are you talking about the rear hubs? Okay. Let's see. I did grab a wrench tonight. And I know a rule was changed recently that if you're running the rear camber link, if you're running the newer shock tower, then you can run the camber link in the higher setting. But normally you can't run that higher setting on the Mud Boss because it was always illegal to do that. All right, here we go. Ooh, don't break that. I need that. So you can see the rear bearing hanger, and it's in the lower position. And the camber link, it's in the top hole, not the bottom hole. If that answers your question. Same on the other side, exactly the same. I tried different things with that. I can't say I've honestly seen a big difference. Not as much as the camber angles. Right rear camber angle and right front will make the biggest difference on this car. Stock rear hubs will bind when you lower the rear carriers. Yes, that's what I've experienced. And as I was saying earlier, this rear spins really nice and free. Really nice and free diff. And you can see my car looks beautiful. You know, it needs a wash. Guess I need to do that, and I'll likely hit it with the power hose, although people laugh about that. I don't care, I'll do that still. All right, guys. Well, you know, we've been on here for a little over an hour tonight and talked a little bit about everything. I hope you guys really enjoyed the free show tonight, and become members if you can. We will be at RJ Speedrome, Mahoning Valley RC this weekend on Saturday. Gates open at 9, racing at 1. I'll be racing, I'll be videoing. get ready. You guys that are on the top of the list there, we're going to be interviewing you this weekend. And sorry for the late start. We had major audio problems at first. We had to come on a little bit later on. So if you're watching this late, nothing I can do. We had no audio in the first video. We had to restart it. So I want to thank you guys for joining tonight. Let's get ready, right? Here we go. Here we go. One more time. Yes. Yes. Let's get our cars ready. Let's grind our tires. Let's get that prep put in there. Let's get those cars ready to go and go hit your racetrack this weekend. I'm Mark with the Oval RC. We'll see you next time.